Up, my fellow otaku brothers and sisters. Guys, they did it. They actually did it. They went and they did it. They baited me into watching this show with the cute cat girl on the cover. And they did it. They successfully made me watch an isekai show. So just take note in future isekai shows out there. If you want to bait me, and if you want to bait Passion 9 into watching an isekai show, this is the way you do it. You just have a pretty halfway decent kind of hot cat girl in your show, and that's gonna pique my interest. I'm actually pretty easy to goad into watching anime. You just have to hit certain parameters and I will watch it. So yeah, they got me there. So I started watching No Longer Allowed in Another World, which is about this dude who's actually based on a Japanese author from real history from the 1940s. He's a real author. The title itself is actually based on one of his books, No Longer Human. And so the title of the anime is No Longer Allowed in Another World. You see that? They put a little isekai twist on one of his books. It's actually kind of messed up because the real author that the show is based on he committed suicide, double suicide with a chick. He had this girl with him and they jumped into a river or something. And so that really happened. But the show uses this character, this real person, as the protagonist. He gets hit by a truck before he's able to jump in the river with his chick. And, the usual thing happens. He gets transported to another world, to a fantasy RPG world, to an isekai world, and he wakes up, finds this cute elf girl, chatting him up about what he's supposed to do. You got a world to save, you gotta get out there and be, an RPG hero and shit. And he's like, nah, I just want to die. I already tried to die, and I ended up here, so I guess I'll just die again. Let me just find a place to die, and so he doesn't want to do anything in this world. He doesn't want to do anything. Or right off the bat, this show differentiates itself from other isekai because you don't have the usual trope of, the main protagonist wanting to become a hero and, do all the usual shit. He doesn't want to jump through the usual isekai hoops. He could care less. So right off the bat, that's kind of funny in and of itself. That's a funny gag right there, to have a character who just doesn't give a shit about being transported to an RPG world, because where he comes from in the freaking 40s, he doesn't play RPGs. He didn't grow up playing Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest or whatever. It's not like the usual isekai where you have that kind of character. So, he doesn't give a shit. And then he finds out that the girl he died with might still be in that same world. She might have came to this world with him somewhere. And once he finds out, oh, she might be out there, the lover I had that I was going to, end my life with, that becomes his impetus to continue living a little longer. He's like, you know what, I'll just find her and try that suicide thing again. I'll just, if I could find her, okay, I'll team up with these goofy party members in this RPG world and I'll do all this shit. Just as long as I can find her and finally commit my suicide. So, yeah, pretty dark, but still pretty freaking funny in this show because it contrasts so much with the fucking, the genre tropes, he does form a little party, including this cat girl, Tama. And it's not even apparently her real name. Everybody just calls her Tama for some reason, and she keeps correcting them. I'm two episodes into this show, and I still don't know if she'll ever get a real name. But whatever, for whatever reason, that's the running gag of this character. But she doesn't disappoint, guys. The cat girl does not disappoint. I like Tama. I like this cat girl. She is cute, she is feisty, she is funny. And, yeah, they baited me with the cat girl, and the cat girl did not disappoint. So, it passed that test. I like the cat girl. The elf girl's cute, too. She's like a mage or whatever. So, you got all the, usual shit. But it all revolves around this guy who is based on a real author who like is kind of completely out of place in this world and has no skills. He's not a fighter or anything. He doesn't. All he has is his moody angst. That's it. Like he just doesn't care about anything. But somehow he's still the main character, and that is kind of funny. Everybody just kind of puts up with him and has to save him constantly because he doesn't care about living. Which again doesn't sound funny, but the show handles it really well. Like it is funny as hell. Because his attitude is just like so down, but he also like embraces it. Like he every time he meets a monster or something, he's like, "Yeah, I don't care if you kill me. Go ahead." It's really freaking fun. So I like the premise there. I like how it's different from every other freaking isekai where it's just a power fantasy, a self-insert fantasy for people who just play too much RPG or shit. You know, for people who play too many RPGs, like that's what isekai usually is. It's just like wish fulfillment. Like, oh, what if you died and got transported to the RPG world of your dreams and got to be the hero and team up with your cat girlfriend and elf girl and all this? Like, you know, I could see the appeal of that, but at the same time, it's nice to see one of these shows where like the main character is just the opposite of that. Like he could care less. He has no reference for any of this, and he doesn't care. And it's good. It's actually good. I laughed my ass off a few times watching these first two episodes, and I definitely feel like the rest will probably be pretty enjoyable. I don't know. I didn't want to wait until I was done with it because, you know, I wanted to give my impressions while the thoughts were still fresh. But, yeah. This show did successfully bait me into watching it. It all started with this cute cat girl. So there you go. I like an isekai show. What do you know? For the first time since Konosuba, I actually enjoyed an isekai. So there you go. It's good. It's alright. I recommend it. Go watch No Longer in Another World. Bye. Live for the passion. Live for the cat girls.